If you want to increase the horsepower of your JL Wrangler and help it breathe a little easier, today we're going to be installing this aFe Magnum Force Stage 2 XP featuring their Pro 5R filter onto our 2018 JL Wrangler. This aFe Magnum Force intake features everything that you need to get it bolted up on your 2018 or 19 JL Wrangler equipped with a 3.6 liter engine. This aFe kit includes aFe's black stainless steel intake tube as well as their oiled Pro 5R filter. This is a super durable filter which is going to wick away moisture and help your engine breathe a lot easier. Now it also features a heat shield, that way you don't get any extra heat inside your engine, keep those temperatures lower. Includes all the silicone brackets, all the hose clamps and everything that you need to get it bolted up. Let's bolt it up in our 2018, see how it does. All right guys, so we've got the hood popped. Let's get started by removing this factory intake. First thing that we're gonna do is remove the three 10mm bolts that hold this airbox into place. There's one right here. Then there's gonna be two in the center. We're gonna remove this sensor here by twisting it counterclockwise, about a quarter turn, and rocking it back and forth to loosely pull it right out and set it aside in a safe place. Now remove the hose clamp that goes onto your throttle body using an 8mm socket or a flathead screwdriver. Remove your PCV hose by pressing on this gray section and pulling it towards the firewall. Now your entire intake system is free. Let's get it pulled out. Got to pull it off the throttle body first. Pick it straight up, and then over here, just going to pick the airbox right up. The whole thing will pull right out. We're going to use this included seal to wrap around the top of this heat shield. That way it seals nicely against the hood, doesn't let anything get in through the top. Just start by pushing it on down here. To the corner. Twist it around there. Make sure it's fully seated all the way around. Give it a once over. Then we're going to remove three 10mm bolts where it goes. We're gonna go ahead and remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts here. As you can see, we've got the HID projectors ballasts there. We've got aftermarket headlights. So we're gonna pull that off and then reinstall it once the shield's on. Use a 10mm socket to get these removed. Definitely save this hardware. You're going to be reinstalling it here in a couple seconds. One last bolt that we're going to need to remove is right here next to the radiator. Go ahead and pull that out. Now we're just going to get this one pulled out. It actually slips underneath there and then we'll tighten it back up. Now it's time to lay the heat shield into place. I'm going to work this top to bottom. All the holes are lined up. I'm going to reinstall the factory bolts. Get the original bolts reinstalled into the holes that you pulled them out of. The shorter bolts are going to go up top here. Now install this lower bolt. Get it tightened up. Then we'll do that front one by the radiator. Gonna have to use a short 10mm socket to get this one tightened up by the radiator. We're gonna have to reuse the factory grommets that came on the intake tube. Just simply work them from the underside backwards. After a little bit of elbow grease, you'll be able to pull them into two pieces, reinstall them into that aFe intake tube. Okay, there you go. After you've got these two pieces separated, what you need to do is put this rubber section into the aFe tube first, and then we'll put this up from underneath. This is the bottom side, push it in that way. Helps to use a flathead screwdriver to do this. Just takes a little bit of patience. It looks like it can't be done, but with my help from CJ Off-Road, you'll be able to do this too. From the bottom going towards the top, so in our case, it'll be top to bottom. Got a little WD-40 in there and they slip right in. Tip will just go right into the hole nice and easy. There you go, full insertion. Now it's time to put our aFe intake tube into the Jeep. Now as you can see, we've got this section with the two lumps that's gonna go towards our throttle body, And then down here, we've got a smaller into a bigger outlet that's gonna go onto that intake heat shield over there. So go ahead and make sure you get all the band clamps on, and then we're gonna slide it on, get these tightened up with an 8mm socket or a flathead screwdriver. Now at this point, we have our aFe power intake tube right here. Now I'm gonna show you, this end is gonna have both of the lumps on it. That's gonna go into the throttle body right on that intake manifold. Then on this end, you're gonna go from smaller to larger flange. Make sure to put all the band clamps on there loosely. That way when you get everything on, you can tighten them up with an 8mm socket. Before you get the band clamps tightened up, grab your 10mm bolts and put them in this center section. That way you know that this is exactly in line. Just get them started, and we get the band clamps tightened up. Now we're going to tighten up these two 10mm bolts in the center section. Last thing to do is bolt on our filter inside that intake box. Slip the Pro 5R filter onto that section. Make sure that your band clamp is on there as well, and you can access it, get it spun around, get it tightened up with an 8mm socket as well. After you get the filter installed, install your airflow sensor as well as your PCV hose on the back. It's just going to go in and twist clockwise. Now for the back side, all you have to do is slide this hose into place and you'll hear a click. Install your PCV hose, and that'll complete your install. We've totally cleaned up the engine bay by installing this aFe Magnum Force Pro 5R intake into the front end of our 2018 JL. Looks absolutely awesome. It takes about 30 minutes to install with basic hand tools. You can find it here as well as many aFe power products, cjponyparts.com.